Because you know what? Let me tell you one of the benefits that I understand about the Bronx as well. And I used to be a New York City public school teacher. That they have more schools that have a pool in it
Right.
than any other borough
Mm-hmm.
because of obviously because of space. And I could never understand when I first came to Chicago. I couldn't understand two things. I couldn't understand why people in New York didn't know how to drive and didn't know how to swim. But if you go to a school that doesn't have a pool, where are you learning?
Right.
You know, and so that this is a bit of, and then we have the parents though, who also are not, don't know how to swim and don't know how to drive as well.
So yes, and so to answer your question, I mean, obviously there are so many things that we can have a whole another show on, but I would start with the public school system, how and what we feed our children,
Yes.
what we teach them about how they should eat, and also exercise.
Yep.
And in this case, it would mean making sure that they have the best equipment, the best gymnasiums, and the best playgrounds possible.
Listen, and do a water open class in the evenings for parents for water aerobics.
Right.
The good doctor teaches that, you know, and African dance and, you know, capoeira and all of those things.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of that will go a long way in making sure that at the earliest stages, while we're teaching them math and reading and science, that we are also teaching them the most important thing, which is to take care of their health.
Very much so. And let me tell you, they're never too early to learn, because young people, from where I sit in my office, I am seeing younger people come in now with diseases of elderly people, 70 and 80-year-olds, and they're getting younger and younger. And it has a great deal to do with the food choices that they make when they have their money in their pocket and they can buy their own food.
Right.
You know, and what I see people eating on the train early in the morning, and I teach an 8 a.m. class, and what they bring to class, I forbid them to eat junk in my room. You're not going to eat that, because you're not going to eat it in front of me. I don't care if you're here for speech. I'm a doctor, and we're not gonna do that. All right, and I don't mean to food shame people, and some of it may be socioeconomical, and then we have a side conversation about how can I help you, and you know, I have a big basket of fruit, and so I'm here to help along on this journey, but you're not gonna eat that in my class at 8 o'clock.
Right.
You know, so these are learning how to change, because if you have the money for a bag of potato chips, you have the money for 2 bananas.
I agree.
It's a change.
It's about changing the psychology, changing your behavior.
That's true.
And we could certainly do that, you know, if not at home, in the public school system.
Oh, absolutely. Because if we do the same thing that we see mom and them do at home, then we're going to succumb to their diseases. And we already know, based on the statistics, that we don't need any more of that, don't want any more of that, because our biography does not have to be our biology. It's our collective responsibility to ensure that we change the trajectory, and we have that opportunity when we understand family history. And so if you've sat around and you held your grandmother's hand and you helped her give her an insulin shot, and you vow to yourself, I'm never going to do that to myself, then you know you cannot eat rice and beans every day.
Not every day.
Not every day.
And carbs, you know, how many, the different, so some people eat bread.
Yeah.
And then they have the rice, and then the potatoes. And then, so we have to be mindful about how many carbs we intake in just one meal.
That's true.
Right? These are all things that we have to continue to
teach.
You know, and sometimes we think that we're eating healthy.
It's so true.
So they'll say, oh, you know, let's have a turkey burger. But then there's so much sodium in some of these turkey burgers. You know, and it takes an honest conversation, and sometimes you have to worry, at least from my point, about being politically correct. You know, some people, you know, they say, oh well, we don't want to food shame. They call it fat shaming. By the way, there are plenty of slim people who are not healthy.
No doubt.
You know, health is not always, you know, your weight is not always indicative of how healthy you are.
Oh, absolutely. Listen,
Right.
some of my most unhealthiest patients are vegan and vegetarian.
Right. So we you know, it again, this is a holistic, it's a big conversation that we have to have, and certainly I commend you for doing it and using this platform to educating folks.
We thank you, and I commend you on your platform, because you know, all these little bullet points that I've written here that I didn't see anywhere, that I am glad to be able to say that.
Don't hold my word to it. Look them all up.
I'm going to look them up. I did see hashtag not 62, and I was loving that. But the rest of these, I didn't know anything about.
The Green Bronx Machine. Look at Arbor House. We even have we've been doing in Arbor House, we have an enclosed greenhouse at the top.
See, that's what's fantastic.
look at Arbor Houses. Over there on Tinton, over by Forest Projects, or Forest Housing. We have to say Forest Housing these days, right?
I love it. You are an absolute joy. And we thank you, the Bronx Borough President, Mr. Ruben Diaz Jr. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity,
Oh,
Dr.
no
Berkshire.
problem. Well, thank you all so much. And I want to thank my team, Alexa on the board, IW supervising producer, and Winter and Mahogany on video, and the digital chick, MJ. And don't forget, if you'd like to be at the Culinary Resort.